People, the purple butterfly here, otherwise known as People 7 on Twitter and YouTube. People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. And I bought myself a few packets of sassy synthetic braid in 1B. I think it looks like the color of my hair. My hair might actually be a little darker now. But I figured I'd show you how I prep the hair before I braid it, because this is like a 15-inch long braid, which means technically it's 30 inches of hair that they doubled over. Far too much. In the meantime, I only need about 7 inches. The package I usually get costs $2.99 if I'm going for synthetic hair, and as you know, human hair prices can range from reasonable to outrageous, but they can range. But your synthetic hair usually runs anywhere from $3 to $10. So I thought, till I came across this stuff. $1.29, and you get this. So what I do is I find where the rubber band separates it, and I just cut right through it. Like that. And I take my time because these are our hair scissors. This is not real hair, and I do not want to damage my very sharp hair scissors. Now I go down to the bottom, and I snip off the rubber band they have holding it. There we go. Then I just go like this. 2 reasons. 1, it fluffs it. And 2, it separates it out to the point where it's no longer perfectly even. So that way when I go to use it in a braid, I don't have to worry about the hair starting at this exact spot and stopping at this exact spot. Because natural hair doesn't do that. Okay? Natural hair tends to have a, shall we say, average stopping point. But if you look real close, there are several strand variations. And this also gets rid of, shall we say, any scraggle waggles. That way you don't have to worry about tangling. So that leaves me with a bunch like this. Now you notice there's no absolute line at the bottom. It's all different lengths now, but at a basic ending point, just like my natural hair. I mean, if you look at one of my braids, let's find a thick one for you. See that? Some of the hair stopped right about here, and obviously some of it stopped here, and there's variance in between. That's natural. You know, no hair is an absolute straight line unless you grow it that long and then have a blunt cut done. And the thing about blunt cuts, you have to run back to the hairdresser every 2 weeks to have any strands that might have grew past the main body of the hair trimmed to an absolute match. Well, if your natural hair doesn't do that and you're adding hair to your natural hair, you want it to have a natural look, so you don't want it starting and stopping in an absolute squared off line. So I always prep my braiding hair so that way it has a natural ending the same as my hair does. And then the little part that scraggled out, this little bit here, this I toss. I'm not going to try to comb through it, match it up, none of that. Besides, the hair only costs $1.29, so what if this much of it is unusable? You've seen what I can use. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach this hair. So I'm going to reach over, grab some of the loop, and the thing I like about this hair, look at her, it's actually got a crimp type effect in it, which will give the appearance of it being from a curly girl, which I happen to be. Now, I might end up trimming off this little teeny piece right here because it's obviously much longer than the rest. But I'm not taking the braids loose. Instead, I'm extending the braid that I have. Like this one here is not quite as long as the hair I have here. So I'm going to take that shorter hair, and I'm going to start the same way as if I was doing loose hair and an extension. Except for I'm going to pull the braid to make it tight, do a tight wrap, and then just literally braid down as if the braid itself is a strand of hair. And I'm not going to change that up until I get to the bottom of the braid. And then I borrow hair from the two pieces that I'm braiding in, like so. Now when I feel myself at the end of that braid, then I'm going to borrow a little hair from here and bring it over. And then borrow a little from here and bring it over. And then I have 3 strands now, and I just continue braiding down till I get to the end of that extension. And now the only place I would have to borrow is any place that it got thinner or thicker. And I always go behind myself and smooth, so that way I don't have that bumpy, obvious demarcation line, okay? And then when I get to the end of this, I braid slightly tighter, so that way it will hold the hair without unraveling the hair and without having to dip it in hot water and all that silly stuff. I mean, that's fine if that's how you seal your hair and everything, but if I'm trying to find a natural look, then the last thing I want is to burn it, heat seal it, or anything like that. I want it to have a natural finish, just like my hair. Now, the only thing about this hair is when I pour water on it like I do my hair, it's not going to curl up. I would probably have to get some rollers or something to get it to curl up. And then I would have to heat set it, but that's not my main goal at the moment. So now we're at the bottom, and ta-da!